Good morning, good morning, good morning. Buenos dias, mi gente. Yo. Welcome to Daily Discipline number 609, primarily in a row. My name's Rob Hoback. Happy that you're here. Honored and humbled that you keep coming back like for reals. Hey, let's talk numbers for a minute. 609 is the street address of the first Steak and Shake where I got to be in charge. I was the general manager of the Steak and Shake at 609 South Hannah Street in Bloomington, Illinois. It's not a Steak and Shake anymore. Hell, I don't even know if the building's still there. But so it was like the fourth Steak and Shake restaurant ever opened. And so like 5 days ago, I was looking at 604. I know that number. Well, it was 604 East Locust Street in Bloomington, Illinois, which was where I had my first job. Like I started as a busboy. Actually, I was a cook, right? Started as a cook at 604 East Locust Street, which is no longer a Steak and Shake, but is a Family Video and a Marco's Pizza or something like that. Lots of Steak and Shake memories this morning. All right, moving on. It's a hump day. Hump day. It's for you at Barb. The date is 6/17/20. It's a work day. We got work to do, so let's do it. First things first, still the realist. I'm also anxious. Yeah, and I'm anxious because we've got a big presidential rally coming to Tulsa on Saturday, and it just feels like there's like a clash of cultures coming right here in my backyard, and it makes me anxious. I'm not going to lie, right? So when I pray, I'm going to pray that this is a peaceful situation down in Tulsa this weekend, and that people don't let their emotions or their pent-up anxiety out in a violent way, right? Like, we don't need any more violence. We don't need any more separation. We need to come together. Just makes me anxious, right? Moving on to real talk. Do the forced apologies make your skin crawl too, right? You've seen them, right? Remember when Tiger got up there and apologized for his behavior? I don't know that Tiger at that point in his life was sorry for what he did. Was he sorry that he got caught? And yeah, of course, right? Again, put yourself in that situation. A couple years ago, you had Urban Meyer, who came out that, he covered up for one of his assistant coaches who was manhandling his wife. And Urban tried to apologize for it, and then he tried to lie about it, and then tried to apologize. It's just bad, right? And yesterday we had the same thing from Mike Gundy over at Oklahoma State University. So Mike Gundy, head football coach at OSU, played football there. I don't remember him. OSU, Oklahoma State has always been like the second tier football program, with Oklahoma University being like the dominant one. They're a top 10 all the time, and so OSU's always kind of on the outside. And Gundy, he's a disruptor, and he's real opinionated, and he's got a beautiful mullet and all those things. And so in the last week there was a photo of him on Twitter with a very right-wing, television network, radio network, something. I don't even know who it was. But a lot of the black folk, especially kids that play for him, like, bro, come on, right? And one of his best players, a guy who is projected to contend for the Heisman Trophy, which is the highest individual honor you can win in college football, is called him out on Twitter. And a lot of people were, complaining, oh, you shouldn't call him out on Twitter. But like, what do you want him to do? He's a kid. He's a kid taking on the man that runs the football program where he plays. And good for him. Good for Chubba Hubbard sticking and raising his hand up like, no. Well, then, once he says something, then Gundy, to his credit, has conversation with him. They try to do a video together. It was awkward. And Gundy didn't even apologize. He just said, found out that things were, offensive to other people, and we're going to make some changes around here, blah, blah, blah. And then he came back with another one in which he was like, hey, I just want to make it clear that I apologize, and Black Lives Matter to me, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just felt like somebody forced you to do that, and I'm not so sure how sorry you are. I'm sure you're sorry that you're in that situation. I'm just not certain that you're sorry about what got you in that situation. And then I do what I always do. I just, I kept thinking about it. I'm like, why is this bothering me so much? And then it hit me. One of the biggest stories in the NFL last year was in the second half of the year, Thursday Night Football. It's the Cleveland Browns playing the Steelers. Steelers starting quarterback Ben Roethlisberger is out, so they got their backup in. which is a kid by the name of Mason Rudolph, who played at the Oklahoma State University as a starting quarterback. And at the end of the game, there's a brouhaha in which Myles Garrett sacks Mason Rudolph, and then they start jawing at each other. Next thing you know, Myles Garrett is whipping off his helmet and swinging it at Myles Rudolph. And everybody's like, what the hell was that all about? That guy, I mean, he's had a few penalties, but sheesh, what the hell is that all about? And he's like, he called me an N-bomb. He dropped the N-bomb on me down there on the ground. He was mad that I hit him late in the game, and he called me a stupid N. He's like, and I was having none of it. And so, of course, Mason Rudolph's like, no, I didn't say that, this, that, and the other. And at the time, I'm like, man, I'll tell you what, like, again, my seat watching the whole thing going, I'm like, Myles Garrett lost his mind there. Somebody kicked him, something happened that triggered him to go nuts. And so, I mean, at the time, I was like, man, I don't know who to believe. I still don't know who to believe. But I'll tell you, when you look from the optics, like, okay, so this kid played at a football program where the coach obviously doesn't really contemplate or care, about it. It wouldn't appear that he's real sensitive to things that might be offensive to black folk. And you hear all these other stories coming out of, white guys think it's all right to say things under the guise of I'm motivating them and this, that, and the other. It doesn't seem like that's that far of a stretch. And it feels a lot like episode 599, in which we talked about either you're coaching it or you're allowing it to happen. Now, I'm not saying that I know this for a fact. All I'm saying is that where there's smoke, there's fire. And there's a whole bunch of smoke coming from Stillwater, Oklahoma right now. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Matter of fact, I think, Mike Gundy might need to go to the Snickers hole for a little bit, right? Just my personal opinion. Anyway, with that, let's get to our thank yous and we're done. God's been good to us in the good times and the bad. Thankful for grace, not just my niece Grace, not the grace that's coming into my life, not the grace that I've had, right? I'm talking about the grace that we need to get through this, right? That we all need to exhibit grace. I'm thankful that we all are capable of doing it. I just pray that we actually do it. I'm thankful for NBH. This is a friend of mine who sent me a message here. Let me read this for you, right? I love this stuff. These things get me fired up. And this is somebody that I don't talk to regularly. Used to work with him. Says, sometimes you see the words you didn't know you needed to see in a place you didn't expect to see them. Thank you. Smiley face emoji. Let me read that again. Sometimes you see the words you didn't know you needed to see in a place you didn't expect to see them. That's the messenger thing I've been telling you about. And there's nothing there are very few things that make my heart feel happier than when somebody says, I needed to see or hear exactly what you posted yesterday, Rob. That's awesome. And thank you, NBH. I've missed you. It's great to hear from you. And I'm glad that you heard or saw what you needed to see yesterday. Come back whenever you want to. Sam, Maddie, and Jack, those jokers are back midday today. Can't wait. I missed them. I was actually depressed the last couple days without them here. Not going to lie. I'm thankful for today, 6/17/20, right? I don't have anything really special going on today, but I got to make something happen. And that brings me to my last thing. I'm thankful for whatever is next. Whatever is next is going to be something that I create through my own effort, that every day when I pray God will bless my work and bring me something big to work on, right? Introduce me to the right person. Say, hey, Rob, you need to call this person. Whatever the case, I'm listening and I'm ready to go. With that, we're done. Hands up. Peace out. We're better together. Appreciate you stopping by on a hump day. Hump day. I'll be back tomorrow on a Thankful Thursday. We'll see you then. Deuces. #Real Talk.